Hello, welcome to the Cables, Lace and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin who made one of the best pots of coffee in her entire life. It is superbly delicious. I wish it didn't have caffeine, although I don't like decaffeinated coffee because of the processes, but it tastes so good. I just love the taste of coffee. All right. Today we are going to call it Finish It February. The beginning of February, Roxanne Richardson coined the phrase Finish It February years ago. And it's a good time to take stock of what you want to finish, what you want to frog, or what is the other one? Oh, yes, fix. Sometimes you need to fix some things to make the fit feel better. I have two finished objects. Two finished objects. Two. I'm wearing one. This is my Upcycle Alpaca cardigan, and I made it a set-in sleeve crew neck using my Ann Bud's handy book of sweater patterns, which is right over here. I've mentioned this many times before. You make it in pieces, then you sew it up, and then you do the collar, then you do the button bands. I did not want buttons on this because it is a fluid fabric, if that's a good word to use. It doesn't have a lot of structure to it because it's alpaca, acrylic, and wool, which also makes sense that I made my sleeves a touch too long. Are they nice in a coat? Yes, because it keeps me nice and warm with my gloves here, and it's really nice. Is it nice to work in? No, it is not. I did have to roll up my sleeves for some of the work I had to do today. And, c'est la vie. It is a cardigan. I will not be fixing it because I do like the length. Like, say I was just at home or out and about and I was wearing this, it's just fine. It's when you're working on something that can be a little dirty or, fiddly, water wise. So I used a US 2.5, I believe, for the 1x1 ribbing. I'm just going to hold it as close as I can. 1x1 ribbing on the cuffs, hem, and button band and collar. I used a US 4 for the fabric of the sweater. And I just wanted something very simple. I wanted something that would match a lot of different things. The next time I use this yarn, which I am using presently on a different project, I am going to take stock of how the sleeves, because when I was making it, the sleeves came to about here when I would try it on, but then once I blocked it again, they grew. So they were here, right at the wrist, and then they grew just a little bit, a good 3 inches. It grew 3 inches. I used the size 42 for the stitch length, and I used a size 40 for the length of the sweater, which I've talked about numerous times. Oh, you may not be able to see her, but Anya came to visit. She just had a hairball, so that's fun. She just needs a little bit of love right now. Yes, she's a good kitty. And she has long hair, so, c'est la vie. What else can I say? It was very nice. It wasn't too hot and it wasn't too warm, as long as it's not too hot in certain areas of our school. Some rooms are it feels like 90 and other rooms feel like 60. It's an older school, but it was just fine out on the playground, and I'm really pleased with the sweater overall. Now, this is finished object number 1. My next finished object I am also wearing, and I have become a huge fan of wrist warmers. When I first saw wrist warmers probably like, maybe, let me think here. 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, almost 8 years ago. 7 to 8 years ago, I saw wrist warmers in a pattern book. And I thought, what's the point of those? I am a fan. So say you're outside and you have, you know, it's kind of cold, but it's kind of not. Because right now it's like in the low 30s, but we still have a lot of snow, so the breezes are cool. Say like you're outside and you're wearing all your gear, and normally you would wear 2 sets of gloves or mittens, at least I do, so I don't get too cold. Today I had these on underneath my sweater, and I only needed regular little kitty gloves, you know, those really cheap ones that you can get at Walmart for like, well, now they're not as cheap, but I used to get them for like $1 for a pair. Those were the days. So today I even was able to take my gloves off and my fingers didn't get cold, because this wrist warmer keeps this area of your body quite warm, and it really does affect how you feel overall. Now, this is somewhat of a self-design. Anyone can do it. I don't really think it's like telling a pattern, because I found the motifs in one book. I followed a similar stitch count pattern in another book, and then I made up my own wrist warmers. This was the first one. I'm trying to get my fingers out of the way. And you can see the vine is broken, okay? It's just leaves and evergreen trees. I use the color Peapod for the green and Briar Twist for the brown and white. And these are Knit Picks palette yarns. I'm going to stop for a second. This is the color Titanium. It's beautiful. All right, so the second one I made, I thought, you know, I'm going to make the green vine that goes with all the leaves. I'm going to make it all green. I'm not going to do every other like this one. I'll hold them up together. At first, I really liked it. I was like, oh, yes, it stands out more. You see it better. And now all I see is the Pac-Man. Except it's green and not yellow. I still love them. I will always wear them. I don't know if I used a different color background, how the leaves would look the original way. And I don't know if I'll be making another pair of wrist warmers anytime soon, because I have 2 pairs right now. I would have to be making them for somebody else per se, because I have 2 pairs and I only wear them when I'm outside. I don't like washing my hands wearing them, because inevitably soap gets on them, they get wet, then they feel weird. And so yeah, I really do like them. And this palette yarn is, I believe, Peruvian Highland yarn. It's a 2-ply fingering weight. When I wear these, I do feel like the Linda Carter version of Wonder Woman from the 70s. Choo, 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 choo. All right, so I do have a list here, and I called it my Finish It February list. And I had not finished my cardigan or my wrist warmers when I wrote this. So I wanted to finish these 2. Now I have plans on 2 sets of the page here. Okay, I'm going to go through one by one, all right? So with my vegetable patch, okay, I'm gonna finish it. February states you finish something, you frog something, or you fix something. I am rather thinking of accomplishing set goals for my 10 projects that I have written down. These were the 10 projects that are in various states of completion, and I want to get to a certain point in each project to finally get the sweater or the cardigan or the hat or the socks or the temperature blankets, because I would like to get those going, or a tank top. Okay, so when I was thinking about these, I'm like, okay, for the goals of each, I'm looking for the book. I'm going to start with the vegetable patch cardigan. I have been working on this quite diligently for a while. The last time I mentioned it, I stated I made a big mistake because I was knitting in the dark with dark yarn and I dropped a stitch by accident. So all the progress I made, I had to rip back. And then I fixed that part, re-knit all of it, and attached a second or another skein of yarn. So then I put it down, and I was really super busy with work and whatnot. But this is, I'm going to try and get it out. There. That is the Vegetable Patch Cardigan by Anni Howard. And it's in my Homestead Cables book by Knit Picks. It's a nice pattern. I really like it. So last night, I was working on it, and I said, I want to get to a certain point at that moment in time, because I knew I wanted to get to the armhole shaping. And then from there, I can work on, the upper part of the cardigan. And I did. You can barely see you can see the white string here, but that denotes the armhole shaping. Okay. So this is, for my size, I believe it's 18 inches. And the last time we spoke, I was way down here. And now I've done all of that work. It's really pretty. I'm going to hold it for a sec. It has a unique design where you do the pocket at the same time. I've discussed about that. I'm using the color Shire Heather, Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. I'm not an affiliate member to Knit Picks. I just really like the company and their yarn. I've never had any problems. I never had any bugs in my stuff. I've just been really pleased with their yarn, and it's very squishy. And this is also a Highland Peruvian wool. I'll just hold it for a sec. So here is the pocket. So you use the same needle throughout for the ribbing, for the everything. I got gauge with a US 6. I think the pattern calls for a US 8. I must be a looser knitter now. So you do like a 2x2 ribbing, and then you follow the pattern, and you do this side first, and then you do this side second, and it has this flap here. Can I pull it out? Which you will attach after blocking, and it's the pocket. I don't know how deep it is, but at least it has a pocket. So after I finished to the armhole, I took a moment and reassessed what is going on, because I like to rewrite my patterns so I understand them. Okay, I don't rewrite what they tell you to do. I just rewrite like what I need to do to follow the pattern. Does that make sense? for my size and whatnot. Now, I don't think this is showing anything. Let's see if I can hold this. Okay, so I need, for my size, I need to repeat the decrease every 4 rows 9 times. And then there's another repeat. So I just wrote each column is the amount of rows, every 4 rows, decrease, boom. And so when I know, when I like put this down, inevitably, I'll put it down and then a time period will go by and then I will forget what was I doing. But this way I know, well, I was working on this set of decreases and I'm on row 7. So I did that, and then I also wrote the amount of stitches I need to get to, and then I did it again for the next part. Sometimes this is also inspirational because you can see your work and you can tick things off your list, and it gives you that beautiful dopamine hit of accomplishing something and being productive and also organized. So once I get to that next section of where the pattern changes, I will look at that and continue on. My goal is to finish the left front, which I think is doable. The pattern is very repetitious. I know it very well. It's very easy to follow. It's just a really pleasant pattern, and it looks so beautiful. It just is so inviting. So I'm going to finish the left front, and my next goal is to start the right front. So that's that for this pattern. I am using my Knitter's Pride Zing needles. They have a blunt tip. I wouldn't normally use this type of needle for a cable pattern, but this cable pattern is so simple and it works really, really well. Now, let's go on to the next goal. My next goal is the Finley. I'm looking for the pattern book, which I do have right here, I thought. Yes, it's right here. The Finley is from my book, Only Yoking. I have been working on this pattern for quite a long time. My thought is I need to finish the color work. Once you finish the color work, which is the hard part, then it's just sleeves and, let's see if I can find a picture of the lady. Sleeves and body. And it's, you know, only the color work is up on the circular yoke. So this is what it looks like. Let's see. Right there. I am using Knit Picks Alpaca, Upcycle Alpaca in the colors Sapphire and Sea Glass. I do like the color work pattern. I think it's really nice. I was working on this the other night. I mean, look at how stunning that is. It's just, so this is the back. You do some German short rows for the shaping. And it's also nice because then you always know that this is the back of the sweater. That's one nice thing. Look how beautiful that is together. So striking. It's going to be a beautiful sweater. So I have more than enough yarn. I got all this Upcycle Alpaca years ago when they were having their big blowout sale. They actually got it in different stages, and each time I got it for like $2 a skein. So whenever they had their deals, I got it. I do not know if they are still carrying this line at Knit Picks. They did have the worsted weight for a little bit, but I don't even know if they're having it anymore. So I got gauge using a US 5, I believe. I have some glasses here. And yeah, I'm using my Knitter's Pride wood needles US 5, they are a little grippier than other needles I have that are wood, which is key for certain things. Later I'll talk about. So I will discuss how I keep track of my stitches. I was getting very confused with this pattern because it's very intricate and it looks different here than it does in the book because you don't see the full picture yet. And so I see parts of the picture, and even when I look at it, I get confused. So like here's the main motif, but I seem to look at it from this angle instead. And that looks different than that, of course. But I see this is what I see most of the time. And I'm like, wait, I'm very confused. So I employed a leapfrog method. So I know, here's the beginning of my round. I know that everything previous is correct. And then I do the next section, the next row, and each section of the color work that I do repeat, I will then take one of these pins and put it at the end. And then I just leapfrog all the way around to the point of where you see it. So this is correct and this is correct, and then the next section. And I always double check because sometimes you do make a mistake, and it's better to be precise. It's better to keep yourself on track than have to redo the entire thing and you're like, why? Why didn't I pay attention? So the last time I worked, I was down here. I haven't really done too much with this sweater, but each round takes about a half hour, maybe a little less, maybe 20 minutes if I get really into a groove or it's a simple section to do, because you know sometimes there's bigger areas and you have to do some float management, and sometimes you don't have to. The suggestion for managing your floats as a general rule is nothing more than an inch, because your finger can get snaggy, or you know it can pull the stitches if you snag it on something. So my goal with this is to finish the color work. I have 25 more rounds to go. And I don't think that's an impossible task. I don't know if it will be accomplished by the end of February, but I am going to work towards that goal of 25 more rounds. If I do two a day or two every few days or whatever the case may be, it is, my dog's licking her paw and she's driving me crazy. No. She's doing so much better. We found out that she's allergic to dairy and we've changed her diet immensely and she's doing a lot better, but she's still a compulsive licker because she is a lab. All right. I'm going to restate. My goal for this sweater is to finish the color work, which is 25 more rounds. And then I think I may work on the sleeves first and then the body, just so it feels like I've been accomplishing something, because I really like making the sleeves first. It really energizes me to finish the big part of the body, which I will go into with my next project. My next project, which is down below here, is the wilderness sweater. I started on the winter solstice, so I kind of dubbed it my winter solstice sweater, but it is called the wilderness sweater. It looks like this. I did the two sleeves. They are finished and they're off to the side. I didn't feel like bringing them out. And I was so happy. I was like, hot dog. And so I was working a lot of ticket booths last week. I did 5. And then Wednesday, I also included Wednesday in my doubles because it was such a busy running here, running there, running here, running there. It actually felt like harder work than working my day at school and then going to work at a ticket booth. It was like so much more intense. But Wednesday, my daughter had an orthodontist appointment, and then I drove, to school, to the ortho, back to school, back home, back to school, back home. And it was just really busy. So I had cast on, I think the last time I talked, I literally cast on, and that was it. Because I remember saying I thought I was going to get more stuff done. You see this hole right here and then how it's attached? My big problem in life is making sure things don't get twisted. And I say it's a problem because I never get it right. And hold on. Enough. She's been looking for 20 minutes and it's driving me nuts. Nellie, you are a good girl. Thank you. She's so good. All right. So I learned a long time ago when I was knitting infinity scarves, not knitting, crocheting. I was crocheting infinity scarves and I would always twist it. And it really drove me crazy. No matter how hard I tried, I always twisted it. I've learned the same thing is true when I knit in the round. I have to be really precise. For socks, I can do it. I think it's because it's a smaller circumference, but every time I do it for a larger circumference, I twist it. So I developed the same process as crocheting. I knit or crochet flat for a number of stitches or rows. I should say rows. So I did 5 because this is thick and I was enjoying myself so much going back and forth that I thought, I'll just do one more. I think I was waiting for my daughter at a game, and so I was just working back and forth. And then I did connect in the round, and it's a 1x1 ribbing. It's so dark. It's black yarn. I used, it recommends using a US 7, but I use a US 8. I did get gauge using the larger needle, a US 10, and I'm using Alpaca bulky weight yarn. I feel like this is all. And as you can see, I've started the color work. And then I put it down. So when I would be waiting for her at like a game or the orthodontist, I was working in the round eventually. And you have to do, I think I did the pattern calls for a certain number, and I did one more. I don't want to give the pattern away. So I was at the orthodontist last Wednesday, and I was going, back and forth. And I thought, wow, I really knit fast. I can't believe I already did a round. I must be really getting fast. And it looks good. And I continued knitting in the round. And I continued knitting in the round. So I knit another 2 rounds. After the first round, I noticed there was a little something strange about one of my stitches below. And I thought, I'll just fix it later. It's probably just like I purled a knit or I knit a purl, whatever. I'll just fix it later. And then I was counting. Oh, I'm almost done with my section. And then I counted way over here. And I'm like, wait a second. How am I 4 rows smaller here than here? Inevitably, I did not realize I had turned my work inside out because it looks the same. I turned my work inside out and started knitting inside out, therefore creating a short row. A short row that was only about maybe 4 to 5 inches long. And when I realized that, I started tinking back. Tinking is the back of knit. So I did not want to rip out. One, Alpha Slopey yarn is a hair sheep. It does snag a little bit on itself. It really is of its own nature, but it can get, you know, it's wool. So I tinked back all those rounds, wound my thing up, and her appointment lasted for like an hour, and it was just really painstaking because the chair was uncomfortable. I wanted to do other things and sit in the orthodontist office, and I was just like, oh, I was so mad at myself. So I fixed my mistake. I placed a pin. That is a contrast color denoting the right side. And so I finished the ribbing, and then I deviated from the pattern one more time. You're supposed to start the color work immediately after the ribbing, but I didn't want to. So I did one round using a US 10, and then I switched up to a US 10.5. I'm using my Knit Picks laminated birch Sunstruck needles. I really like them. They have a nice pointy tip. They're really smooth. Compared to my Knitter's Pride, these are as close to being as smooth as like metal. And I need the more grippy Knitter's Pride for a different project in the future because I just can't get gauge with my Knit Picks ones. Anyway, so the bottom, let's see here, the bottom color work looks like the bottom of the sleeve color work. Hold it up here. So I'll be doing those little diamonds right there. And I only done one round. So my goal for Finish It February for this pattern is to finish the colorwork section and then go into the body. Now I don't have that many ticket booths left for the winter season, but if I get to a certain point, you know, after the color work, this is a really good project to bring to a ticket booth or an appointment or, you know, something that you're just kind of sitting there and you're just like, oh my gosh, I got to do something with my hands. So once I get to after the color work, then it'll be a nice travel knit. And I don't know how big the sweater has to be, and that's in the pattern. So I'll do what it says and then go from there. Now, one thing I have been bringing to the ticket booths, I just want to put my notes back if I can, is I have been bringing my Sailor Swift top, because like once you get something established in the round, it's not so fine as 2-ply wool, which I do like to bring sometimes to the ticket booths, but this is a DK weight. I have gotten some length on this since the last time I showed you. I think the last time I was like 3 stripes down or so. So I have gotten, I'm like at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, 7. 7 yellow stripes down. I haven't put this on again yet, but I'm thinking it needs to be a little bit longer because this is the underarm and it will be pulled together because you're supposed to do a I-cord binding. This is mostly for me to wear at home or underneath something and like have like a, like it's kind of warm, kind of cool, and you want a cardigan over it. It's a lovely pattern. This yarn is also lovely. I am using Patton's linen. It's a discontinued yarn, unfortunately. I bought it when Joann's was still open. I'm just going in the round. It is let's see, do I have it here? It is a Kukakavika pattern. I do not have it presently. And she just is a very good designer. I really like her pattern. And I do not have it. So Veronica Lindberg, otherwise known as Kukakavika on YouTube and whatnot, she made this pattern. It's really easy to follow. I did do the size smaller up top and the size larger on the bottom. I finagled the numbers to just cast on a little bit more under the arm. I like bringing it to the ticket booths because I don't really have to think about it. I can, all right, I'm just doing the darker orangey colors called sweet potato. Well, I have to do sweet potato for 6 rounds. And then the golden color is called goldenrod. All right, I have to do that for 2 rounds. And it's just really nice to do at those events because I can pick it up and then put it down and then pick it up and then put it down. So that is a very good thing to do while at a ticket booth, while at, I do have a big meeting coming up for school. It's going to be like an 8-hour day and we're all taking a class. And anyway, I need something to do to keep me attentive. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to make it. So, okay. The next thing I'm going to talk about is something I didn't even know I was going to get to, but I got to it today. This morning, I said, all right, you have 45 minutes before you have to get ready for work. You should like reacquaint yourself to the Patton's cable cardigan. I do not know if this will fit me. I followed the directions in the pattern because it states something like the actual size for the bust 3840 is a size 48 bust because this was an 80s pattern, so it was very oversized. I'm just going to hold it. I believe I got this off Etsy. As you can see on the model, it is very, very oversized. The ribbing is very tight, which gives it this like lip. I don't like that. I wish I had not made my ribbing so tight. Live and learn. I rewrite it so I know exactly which size I'm doing, and then I have it all written down and I can see which row I'm on. So I keep track of everything. The pattern is a 4 row repeat, and then the different charts, there's a chart A and a chart B, and they coincide. Like I think chart A is 4 row repeat, and then the chart B is a 12 row repeat. So I keep track of all the row numbers and you know where I'm at, and so far so good. And I am using my Knitter's Pride Zing size 7. It is a blunt tip. Now I'm really surprised that I can work cables with these, because sometimes you just need that sharp tip to get the cables or these bobbles. I never thought I would like doing bobbles, but I really do. Anyway, this is so beautiful. I mean, and when I hold it up to myself, it could fit me. Not the ribbing part. The ribbing sucks. I'm just going to hold this like this. Look at how beautiful those cables are. So a suggestion a viewer gave me is don't connect the ribbing. Just let it, you know, connect the sweater up here and just let this be a split hem, which is a great idea. Now, even if I don't wear this, my daughter, excuse me, my daughter could wear this very easily and she would look super cute in this. So I'm not ripping it back and starting over again. I know I had a lot of issues with starting this sweater, but it's been so long, I sometimes forget what the issues were. But I did do something right. Do you see all these little, let's see, can you see the green ones right there? And then there's some more. I put all these stitch markers to coincide not only the right side, but the wrong side of the fabric. So reacquainting myself with this pattern this morning, I patted myself on the back because I kept such good track of my progress. I knew exactly which row to start on. I knew exactly why I had these stitch markers here and there, and I was so happy. I did 2 rows. I was so happy. I did 2 rows and I wanted to do a third, but I looked at the time and I only had like 5 minutes left before I had to start getting ready for work. So I opted to put it down and rearrange myself so I know exactly where to start in my pattern the next time I work on it. So my goal for this is to I would like to finish the back panel. Is that possible for February with all the other things I have going? I don't know, but I would like to finish the back panel. I would like this sweater to be ready to wear next fall. That's the goal, next fall. And I think, yep, there's my progress keeper right there. Do you see? Now I'm going to change that. So I'm going to make it my goal. It is done in pieces. And since it's done in pieces, I can work on it during the summer and not be too hot. But it is a lovely pattern. It is just so engaging, and I really enjoy the bobbles, the cables. It is just really a really lovely pattern. Would I make this pattern again? In a, say like the size doesn't fit me, would I make this pattern again? Yes. I am using Lion Brand's Wool Ease wool in the color Fisherman, I believe. I have enough yarn to finish it. And even if I didn't, say like the cats destroyed my yarn, which let's hope that doesn't happen, knock on wood. I could always get more because the general color of Lion Brand is going to be the same even if the dye lots aren't exact. My dog is licking herself again. All right, number 6. This is going to be a long one. I will go faster towards the end. My palette cardigan. I started this cardigan the same time I started this cardigan. Both patterns, I used the Ann Bud's Handy Book of Sweater Patterns. This was a set-in sleeve with a crew neck. This is going to be a set-in sleeve with a V-neck. I am working on the second front, or the right front. I did a 2x2 ribbing. I don't remember I'll put in the description what size needle I did the ribbing in. But for the, I'm looking for my glasses. Here they are. For the main body of the sweater, I'm using a US 3, or let's see, what size millimeter, or 3.25 millimeter. This is using the palette Camel Twist yarn, which is just like the Briar Twist. And I got them both at the same time, like 2018, 2019. And both I got 10 skeins for $1.62 each. And so it was like $16.20. Man, I miss that time of life when things didn't cost so much. This is a very easy thing to bring somewhere. You just working back and forth, purling or knitting. Sometimes if you're not paying attention, you can only grab one of the plies of the yarn. It's a fingering weight. I love this yarn. So this is just working like, man, I am exhausted and I don't want to think of anything, and I don't want something too heavy in my hands, and I just kind of want to knit and then purl and just get a few rows in to go, just to like recenter myself. In fact, I did that last Saturday. Saturday was my last ticket boost shift of the week, and then I had to drive and then come back home with my daughter. She was at some function, and so I had to go pick her up, and it just was like a very long day. The ticket booth was so boring, but it was money in my pocket. So anyway, came home and I was just mentally and physically just, I'm done. And I sat down and I just wanted to do something. Like, I have all my projects and I really just want to just like come back to myself, realign, because when you're working with the public, you forget about going to the bathroom, or you forget about things that you just need. Or when you're driving down the road, you're going to your goal and then back, and you come home and you're like, oh my gosh, where did the day go? And I just need a little bit of recentering so I felt better, so I could continue on with whatever needed to be done that day, like household chores and whatnot. Sunday was a glorious day. It was so nice. I felt like I had 3 days in one, and I worked on a lot of different things. So, all right, what can I say? Making it, it'll come along. I will show you more as time goes on. Easy peasy. My goal is to finish the front. Will I finish the front? We'll see. I will be so pleasantly surprised on all the projects I get to. Now, I'm going to jump ahead to number 9, which is socks. Now, I have started these socks, a little while ago, and the color is Midnight Orchid. Look how pretty. I'm using my Knitter's Pride Zing double pointed needles. I really like double pointed needles for in the round. Patton's sock yarn. It's widely available. I do a 3x1 rib, knit 3, purl 1. I use my Ann Bud's pattern. I just love it. So my goal for my socks, I do 2 at a time. I think, I do 2 at a time, but separately. My goal is to get to the part of where I change to the US 2. This right here is a US 3, I think, or is it a 2.5? It's a size, let's see, US. I can't see it. Let's see, I don't want to pull my stitches out. It's a 3 millimeter. Oh, I did. It's a US 2.5. So I use the larger needle for the top part of the cuff, and then I go down to a US 2. My goal is to switch out the needles to a US 2. And these are nice to bring, like you're in a car traveling somewhere. Am I in a hurry to get them done? Not at all. Now, I did put some yarn in for incentive because I always put 2 strands of yarn on my heel. Sometimes when you start working on these things, time stands still and you're just so happy to get them all done. Now, I don't have them here and I'm not going to go get it, but another goal, because I wanted to have a crochet project as well. Another goal is to finish the February temperatures of my temperature blankets that I showed in a previous podcast. So I just need to get them. It's like you need a certain amount of time. So I have them in a big bin with all the yarn, and my cats like to attack the yarn. Hold on. Nellie, stop licking. Nellie, so good. Nellie, who's outside? Look, look, there's a puppy outside. There's a puppy. Oh, they went home. Okay. This should be the title of this one on my thumbnail was how many times can you hear my dog lick herself? I can hear it all the time. Okay. And I really don't mind her licking herself, but I'm trying to talk and think about things, and she's over here going to town on herself. Anyway, onward and upward. Okay, where was I? Temperature blankets. I would like to finish the month of February. We'll see how it goes. Oh, maybe there is a dog. All right, so now, I decided that I wanted to have some incentives. Incentive cast-ons. Things that I've been really wanting to make, things I've been really wanting to do, things I've been really wanting to try out. And you can't just, bog yourself down with, oh, I have to finish this before doing something else. Well, I did finish this, and I finished these, and I was like, hot dog, I'm casting something on. I decided to cast on the mussel burrow hat. I'll just show a picture if I can get it out of the thing. I'm also working on, I'm debating. So that's what it looks like. It's by that. She's a designer. It's very common on Ravelry. That's where I got it from. I did measure you're supposed to cast on and then measure your stitches after a certain point. And I think I say think because I'm not 100% sure I did it correctly. I think I'm at 6 stitches per inch. And that also equals to the gauge swatch I did make and tore out because I made it flat. But I really wanted to make a hat using double pointed needles. I'm using my Knit Picks Sunstruck laminated birch needles, size 4. I think I'm using a size 4. US 4. Well, there's no markings on these that I can see, so I believe it's a US 4. That's one thing I didn't. That's right. They don't put any markings on the needle itself. You're just supposed to either keep the packaging or measure with one of those needle gauge things. Anyway, I think I'm using a size 4. I'm using 2 strands of the Briar Twist leftover yarn from Knit Picks from my sweater that I made so many moons ago. Now, in the pattern, you can work 4, or I should say 5, with 5 needles. So you have the 4 here and then you knit with this one, or you can do a 4 needle, or you can do magic loop. I can't remember what the other thing is, but they all talk about these different cast-ons where it's a seamless cast-on. You can see, let's see, you can see there's a hole in mine because I didn't want to do that. I did a long tail cast on. I cast on the amount of stitches that is required, and then I didn't do exactly. I did 1 round of knitting because I find it extremely fiddly to start increasing on the cast down round. And I thought, you know what? It's a hat. This may be the inside of the hat and the other side may be the outside of the hat. Or I also left a little tail, you know, not too long. It's about 6 inches or so. And I plan to sew it up in the round and you won't even see the hat. I don't think I'll put a pom-pom on it. I don't know. I don't think so. But we'll see. I mean, maybe I do put a pom-pom on it. So I did make a marker to where the beginning of my round is. So there's the beginning of my round, and I'll just move it up. I'm doing the increasing right now. I'm following the pattern. I'm feeling confident, sorta, but I'm feeling better. At first I was like, oh, I'm doing this all wrong. But because you can see you can see where I messed up. The good thing is it's a marled yarn, but I mean, if you're studying it, you can see I started, where is it? I started increasing here, but then I moved over. Oh well. It's gonna get lost within the pattern because it's just so marled. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. I am one of those people that likes to knit with double pointed needles. I like going, oh, awesome. I can get 1 needle done. Ooh, I still have time. I can get another needle done. Ooh, I still have time. Boom, boom, boom. Wow, I already finished a round. That's so cool. So right now I'm working on increase round, knit round, increase round, knit round. I always end on a knit round, so I know, because I can't read my work, I always know that the next round will be an increase round, and I'm just following the pattern. So far so good. And I'm really happy that I incentively cast on, and I do like picking it up when I just have a little bit of time because the stitch count right now is pretty small. Will I transfer over to in the round knitting? I don't think so, but I'll let you know. So these are my plans for Finish It February. Now I have some more incentives over here. Say like I get a whole bunch of stuff done. Say like, I don't know, say like I finish the Sailor Swift top. Stranger things have happened. Then I also want to cast on the stripe hype sweater. And I might just do it just because I really want to make it. I also want to make a cami for my daughter and myself possibly. And then I started a lace cardigan a couple years ago and messed up. I was actually using this yarn and I messed it up, but I really like the pattern. So that is another thing. And then I also have a short sleeve cardigan idea that I want to make. And I also want to make a short sleeve color work. I mean, there are so many things I would like to make. Now, a long time ago, I stated I want to have at least 30 sweaters, cardigans, and regular sweaters to wear one every day of the month and not repeat. I still want to do that. And at this present moment, I believe I need to make 19 more, which isn't uncommon for me to want to make 19 more sweaters. And I do have the vegetable patch, the Finley, the wilderness, my palette, and possibly Patton's cable. So I have like 4 to 5 in the progress right now, which would then bring me down to, you know, if it's at 19, bring me down to 15 or 14. Very, very, very doable. And it doesn't have to be all done in 1 year. So I would like to thank you for sticking around for this super long podcast. It's almost over an hour, and I better hop on to another thing I need to do before I have to go pick my daughter up from school. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, before I forget, because I remembered as I looked over here, what do you think? Which pattern do you like better? Do you like the full leaf pattern better, or do you like the interspersed with the thing better? I like them both, and I've, you know, part of me is like, I don't know, when I see frogs all the time, like a big frog mouth open. Anyway, well, I feel like I'm a little bit disjointed at the end because, you know, outros are always hard. Anyway, until the next time we meet again, I hope you're all doing well. I would like to thank you for watching my videos, commenting on my videos, and subscribing to my channel. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.